Ronnie Radke is a fella that holds hands with controversy, and over the past year or two he's slowly been known as the dude that cancels shows. Sorry, correction. Falling in Reverse has been known as the band that cancels shows.
Falling in Reverse is like this genre-bending metalcore band that's been around since 2010. The first few albums did actually consist of the same members, but ever since then they've been tossing in and out players so quickly that I just couldn't tell you if Jimmy John or Hillary Clinton is in the band.
That's us!
I cannot keep count. I just know that Jackie Vincent is no longer with us. Shit, I mean, he didn't die, he just left the band. Ronnie Radke came up with the band Escape the Fate. This album is the reason that I started wearing eyeliner at age 14, and why 13 years later I convinced myself that the new metalcore song is definitely new and interesting and does not follow the exact same chuggy breakdown pattern as every other song for the past decade. Falling in Reverse came about because Ronnie Radke got kicked out of Escape the Fate whilst he was in jail. The in jail part is actually significantly important to the story. Surprisingly enough, everybody seems to find a way to link jail and he killed a guy to absolutely everything that Ronnie Radke does, and it's actually not incredibly relevant because, well, I mean, brother really didn't kill a guy. But for this story, it is actually relevant.
Like, there's been some show cancellations here and there, and though he has been mainly on the road for like the second half of 2024, I want to say, honestly, I don't see how this man gets time to post videos on his bird when it seems like he constantly has a show somewhere in the world to go play at.
The end of this year has actually been bumpy enough to brand Falling in Reverse as a cancel band. Not in the form of cancel culture, though that was already floating around, but in the fact that they are now known for cancelling shows. Cancelling shows, it happens. Any live performer, live band, like, it's just part of the shit. But these situations are kind of unique that I kind of want to just see who's actually to blame here. In the middle of November, they just took one big swooping punch to Europe and they cancelled Wurzburg, Baptist, and Tilburg. Damn it, I knew I shouldn't have tried to pronounce those.
But they have now gone and cancelled the whole UK tour.
When I tell you this is when I got incredibly disappointed in my IQ. I was feeling really happy to see Falling in Reverse actually playing the shows in Europe because I've known for a long time that like they couldn't play in the UK. I knew there were laws there. Like I knew back in like 2015 when I was watching Falling in Reverse on a tiny little stage in New Zealand that was special as fuck because I knew that they didn't play in the UK. My apologies to everybody else that lives on the opposite side of the world of me. My brain kind of just grouped Europe in with UK, so I'm actually not too sure if this is the first time I played in Europe, and I think my happiness that I was sending towards you guys might have been a little misconstrued.
I don't know how I merit endorsed geography when I was in high school because, brother, I can't even identify the flag of my own country. To be fair, New Zealand and Australia are quite similar.
Okay, Moo, stop the app. What in the actual subway endorsing Jared Fugel happened here? So Falling in Reverse dropped this nice little poster on their Instagram story, which I'm sure made many people shit the bed that morning. I actually think they posted it on like the 14th of November, and if you're looking at these dates, it's kind of a little bit close to Wurzburg there. Due to production-related logistic issues, we have made the difficult decision to cancel the following shows. Refunds for tickets and VIP upgrades are available at the point of purchase. There is an extra little statement underneath there, which we will get to in a second, because once I actually read that, I'm like, oh shit, dude, you're kind of making this hard. But I do have theories. Falling in Reverse is definitely at that stage now where they're kind of catching up to Bring the Horizon, where people who aren't necessarily in the metal scene will listen to Falling in Reverse. Point being, they are still rooted very heavily in the metal community. I feel like there's just no in between with metalheads. Like, if you cancel a show for a runny nose, your fan base is either going to love you and treat you like a princess, or sentence you to 12 years in burning hell. The first fan theory that I want to talk about is that the venues or the stages just weren't big enough for our... I'm already rocking! I always want to pull out like lyrics that are so left field for Falling in Reverse fans even. I don't think anybody's going to get it. But anyways, when you compare these three venues to some of the other stages and venues that are on this European tour, people are just like, oh, he doesn't want to play a smaller show. Oh, look, Ronnie's a unique guy. He has his own little humor, and he's posted many TikToks saying like, I'm bigger than you rock bands. I play arenas. I play stadiums. And now look, people aren't stupid. They noticed that these locations had smaller venues that were being cancelled. So people think that he cancelled the shows because he just doesn't want to play the small venues anymore. But we saw Falling in Reverse do multiple venue upgrades once things had sold out, and it's always going to cost money for someone to cancel a show, so why not just not book the show in the first place if you don't want to play that show? I think if anything, maybe just the smaller venue might have contributed towards the production issues, because these venues are booked so far in advance.
Sometimes things just come up, maybe a permit doesn't get passed, maybe a venue takes forever to look at paperwork, who knows? Imagine if you're going to a Falling in Reverse show, you're paying the cost, which I don't know what you're paying in Europe. Like, this is like $170 for me down here in Australia. And you're expecting like the viral, watch the world burn live, that kind of production. and you get like a local band on a wooden stage with one spotlight on them kind of production.
If you're someone that's paying a premium for a show and you know that Falling Reverse is at a certain level, I think you would be a little bit disappointed. There's a lot of things production-wise that can actually go wrong, and it could be on either side. You don't know if it's the venue's fault. I've never organized a show, but being, at least a dancer for many years, I know that there is so many damn moving parts, and there's also so many people responsible for it, not just the company, or in this case, band, that's putting on the show.
So you're like, okay, well maybe do like a partial refund, right? Make the show a little low budget, let everybody know, hey guys, no burning fire flames in this one, so fucking sorry about that. Like, maybe give them a partial refund so they can still see it. But the thing is that there's so much budgeting going into these massive tours. You can't just all of a sudden be like, oh, so we're just gonna like fire the sound guy because if we go and put this show on, we're not gonna be able to pay for him. And therefore you've got no sound at that show or any other shows. That's a bit extreme. I don't think the sound guy would be the first option, but do you know what I mean? As a fan, I would fully feel that way. I'd be like, just come. Like, just get the drummer to play on a tree. I don't mind. It just, unfortunately, logistically doesn't work like that.
Before we throw the tennis ball back into the small capacity court, I do want to talk about routing. So there's a YouTuber on here called Tank the Tech. If you're in metal, you've probably checked him out. He was like a tour manager. He knows about all that shit. I found when watching his video, though, that my brain kind of looked at all these place names as just fun little organization of letters, and whenever he just said this route is definitely doable, I just kind of believed him, but I wanted to visually check it out. The first constellation on that list was Wurzburg, and as you see with this routing, you have to do a bit of a weird loop-de-loop where you drive back down to Zurich. And once I cancelled Wurzburg, this is what the routing looked like. I'm not saying that this is proof or anything, but it just gives a bit of a visual representation of what the locals are seeing. But also remember back in 2018, they swapped Netherlands out for another date in Prague, and yeah, it did change out the routing system a little bit, but like, look at the right over here. That's still so much like weird up and down driving and going back to Prague. And the new route is still 35 hours worth of driving in a week. I don't know, I kind of get it. It looks sus, so I'm gonna leave that up to you to decide. Here in Australia, we get bands flying from wherever the fuck they're located into Brisbane just to play at a venue like the Triffid, which has a capacity of about 800 people. And the Falling Reverse's booked show here is actually at one of our locations. It holds about 13,000 people. My brain is seriously struggling to see the logic as to how driving a few kilometers in Europe is like a huge hassle just to play for a few thousand people. We're flying all the way to the bottom of the world to play for 800 people, where our koalas here literally have chlamydia is seen as more convenient. Whilst we're visiting Brisbane real quick, fun fact about the Trivet, it's actually an old World War II hangar, and this is why I don't do fun facts, because now I'm riddled with anxiety, because what if I'm actually wrong? It really puts into a lot of perspective that there must be some slight benefit to traveling all this way to play in these tiny venues. Love or hate Ronnie Radke, one thing that we know about this man is that he is a business dude, and business dudes don't really become successful and rich by being lazy and throwing money away.
It's kind of sad to see that other bands get a little bit of grace. In that video, he even mentioned, I think it was like the Ghost Inside, we're like, guys, we have to cancel this whole tour because we're hella tired and we're really wiped out. And everyone's like, that's so fine. Ronnie Radke's like, our laptop broke and you guys aren't gonna be able to hear anything, and you're like, you're the devil, dude.
Watching this video, you might think that I'm pro Ronnie Radke, and yes, I am a fan of Falling Reverse, but I'm very picket fence. We know this about me, that I try to be very unbiased and think about both sides. But the thing that really got me when I was actually researching into this and be like, okay, so like, why is the other side of the world exploding over this? This final paragraph, a second show in Prague has been added on November 28th. Tickets on sale now. If we just roll our little eyeballs up a couple lines, cancelled show, 28th of November, Tilburg. Definitely pronouncing that incorrectly, I'm really sorry. I think this is where Ronnie Radke just wants to play big shows. Stigma, is that a good word to use? Kind of came from. I still believe that there was some sort of production issues with the smaller venues, and smaller venues are probably going to have issues like that. Like, the funny thing is that he also went on to cancel the second Prague show. This time it was because the singer had illness. I've been sick for the past 2 weeks from Good Things Festival. This seems to happen to me every damn year, so I don't know how someone who plays shows multiple times a week isn't constantly got the flu. People are still steaming over these Europe shows getting cancelled, right? And he just doubles down. He locks in and they just go and cancel the whole UK leg.
For once, this UK tour was actually cancelled for a very different reason. Falling Reverse has never been to the UK. So the UK has always had this kind of policy where anyone who has spent more than 12 months in prison, they can't enter the country. Maybe they can't enter the country for work. I quite literally couldn't be further away from the UK, so they're kind of like maybe the least important laws for me to know right now.
I've always known that like Falling Reverse hasn't toured the UK purely because of this fact. So all their posts about it selling out and all this stuff, I'm like, yay, like they've figured something out with the queen, I guess, and she's letting him in. Band is a full-on business, and I'm sure that they would have gone through certain processes. At the top of their current tour status on their website, they've said that they are working to get the right visas. What I don't really understand is where the idea came from that they thought that they could get in, and I think this is where I need to ask help from the viewers. I could Google to when the cows come home. That's a lot different to actually living within the law system of your country and knowing how things actually work.
It almost sounds like out of the blue, UK was like, oh guys, by the way, we're not gonna let you in. I think this is the one thing that people are kind of blaming Ronnie for. It's like, dude, you shouldn't have gone to jail in 2008 and then we wouldn't have this issue. You think? I think it's kind of harsh for Falling in Reverse to get any backlash for this. I mean, the fact that the guy has actually tried to do a UK tour means that he definitely has teams in the background trying to work around this, trying to apply for the right kind of visas. And he did say, we will try to be back in 2025, which means that this ongoing issue is going to be something that they hopefully continue to work through. And maybe you guys will one day get to see Falling in Reverse.
Aside from the Australian dates, the only other tour dates that they have currently on their website is actually Europe dates, which means maybe there's a little bit of hope to have some kind of makeup dates for the cancelled shows. So these are the two chicken soups that Falling in Reverse has been stewing over the past couple months. This isn't why they've been known for cancelling shows. There's been loads of other cancellations here and there. We all remember the Sebastian vs. Ronnie drama.
What's up, guys? This message is for Sebastian Bach. My hair's up. Sebastian Bach. Sebastian Bach on Ronnie Radke. I don't know who that is. Sebastian, you know exactly who I am. You talked a lot of crap about me for years. Also, another reason why I know you're lying is because this is Elvis Basquet, and I know you know who that is. He did your newest album, and Elvis Basquet did Dying Is Latest Fashion from Escape to Fate. 3 or 4 albums of my first album. Your band doesn't want you back. No, but they never want you back. You're literally the most insufferable human being of all time with terrible vocals.
It's annoying that people have to fight on the internet. I would rather people just sit there and logically look at both ends. That's why I make these videos. But I actually think the conversations that came about due to this drama were actually beneficial. Think of Bring Me the Horizon's Sepeternal album. I'm using this because I feel like everybody's picked Goldfish to know this album. You cannot expect a band to be traveling around and have the space for a kabillion different violinists and string instruments. I think that's usually what backing tracks are for. It's trying to put on the best show possible but still making it live. And yeah, there's shitty bands out there that don't play anything live at all. That's their own issue. We know Ronnie Radke can sing. There's no issue there. But the reason that I actually like this whole debate is that this laptop getting lost wasn't just so that he could lip sync. I'm also assuming it probably had things on there like lighting design and other things that go towards putting on a show.
Laptops were they were sent to New York City. We were in Nashville. Last show was in Nashville. Laptops, backups, hard drives, all together sent to New York. We thought they were stolen. We can't play the show without them. There's a lot of idiots that think that we can just go on and perform songs like Popular Monster that are straight up rap beats. You can't do that. You need laptops. And anybody that's a musician out there uses a laptop if they're in a band for either click, triggering lights, triggering tracks, and mostly every band that I know uses tracks. And it's just insane that these older people can't accept the fact that even their older bands are using tracks.
They are. Well,
you're using tracks, dude.
I did come across this one clip. Now, firstly, he is gambling on stream. I really don't like gambling on stream. It's the same with influencers and people that I see promoting or even just using vaping and cigarettes. You should know that these things are bad in your life and you have very impressionable people watching you. But I digress. Those are just my opinions, whatever. He seemed quite upset. Now, these are only clips and I couldn't find the original full video, so I'm taking it with a grain of salt because people hate this guy and they will take him out of context.
You owe us an explanation. I don't owe you shit. You understand? If a show gets canceled, know it's for an important reason.
This clip makes it seem like he is dodging the question, though later on he does say there is some sort of safety issue. He doesn't go into depth, but also maybe he doesn't know. There may have been someone who told someone who told someone who told someone to come and tell Ronnie, hey, we can't do this, there's safety issues. But being the face of a brand, maybe it is your responsibility to know a little bit more details and say, hey guys, this is what happened, let's move on. Because then people could shut up in the comments.
You don't understand. There's safety things, there's reasons for, there's people's personal healths, there's safety issues that happen. Literally so many laundry list of things that are potentially at play here. It's not just, you know what, I don't want to play Vienna. Cancel it. Fuck these people. That's not how this works.
I have been watching this band for 10 years now, and I know that people do just say shit. They get treated quite differently. Hopefully it puts it into a little bit of perspective for us as fans to be respectful when we're asking curious questions. This is a person. Yeah, it's our job to hold people accountable, but we also need to let people have the room to grow. And also for something like this with the European tours, it was said that there was a production issue and then on one of the dates he was sick. They've given you a reason and it's just up to you to accept that and move on. Social media kind of gives us this feeling of being super open. There's a million different what ifs that we could say, and the point is that we know that it was a production issue and that's all the information that we got. To be honest, if I saw a band like I Prevail cancel for production issues, I don't think anyone would be saying, I need to know the name of the guy that blew the fuse.
People don't understand. You guys just get fucking mad because you can't see you're good. Or even then, if someone doesn't feel good, you guys still berate it. I fucking hate fans like that. You're not a fan, you're an entitled, spoiled little fucking brat. Go fuck off. I'm dead serious. I can't stand that. We didn't get to go see our favorite singer perform. You have no idea how this shit fucking works. You think people just cancel shows to cancel them? Yeah, some people do. You know, some people do that. Who cares? You don't need an explanation on why we canceled the show. Just know that it's probably for a fucking important reason. So go fuck off.
I wasn't in the stream, I haven't seen the original video, so I don't know what comment actually triggered this reaction in Radke. Maybe that's all the comments have been for the past half hour and he's at his point where he's like, guys, shut up. It could have been harassing or rude. But then there is the latter possibility of, what if this was actually just a fan that was like, damn, I was really looking forward to seeing you guys. Like, it would make me sad to think that the hate could get to a point in Ronnie Radke where turn on their fans because they're unable to see that they're actually just trying to love and support them.
Bad Omens canceled an entire Europe tour because his mental health. I don't see any of you guys fucking getting mad at him.
Sometimes people need to be educated. Like, that's why YouTube's kind of great. People like Tank the Tech, and I guess this video, fuck, it's a mess, but sure, if you've gotten something out of it, you can kind of be educated to think a little bit more logically of all the back ends of shit that goes on. Like, maybe you're a baker who listens to metal. Like, it's not your fucking job to understand how tours work. I am swearing so much. YouTube is going to give me such a big spanking. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. I think there is a happy medium where Ronnie should take a little bit more responsibility, but also fans need to like chill the fuck out.
I kind of imagine tours are almost like weddings. If you don't go through with it, you're just like hella out of pocket.
Has anyone noticed the status for the other bands that were also on these bills, like Hollywood Undead, Sleep Theory, Slaughter to Prevail? Why did I feel like I saw Asking Alexandria? I don't know, but are these guys getting constant questions about why their show was cancelled? I'm not being defensive, I'm just genuinely curious.
At this point for Falling Reverse, I really hope that they get to a point with the Queen, whoever is running the UK visas, where they will be like, oh, Bretta's not really a criminal at this point, we can let you in. 15 years since this dude's been arrested, you guys will finally get to see Falling in Reverse. Falling in Reverse wasn't around 15 years ago, but you know what I mean. I hate that some bands, when they cancel tours for production, whatever it is, they kind of got a lot of support from their community. I think even Ronnie has cancelled shows before for his voice, and they're just like, bro, you're a dog, like, why are you doing this to us? But when other artists do it, people are like, oh my god, we don't want this person to blow their voice out and never be able to come and sing live for us again. I'm not saying that Falling Reverse is in the right, maybe there was something they could do in the backing end planning, but I'm sure just like half of you, I too have never worked on a world tour in my life. All I can do is look at the knowledge that's in front of me and go, shit happens, you know? And it sucks for the fans. I understand why you guys are also upset. I would also be crying in the corner until new tours got announced. I have been doing that for the past 3 years, waiting for them to come back to Australia, actually.
What is that? What is that?
Remember to be a picket fence, alright? You want to just kind of sit in the middle there, look at both sides, and maybe try and see each person's perspective. Try not to yell on the internet. It kind of makes you a little grumpy inside. Subscribe, we're trying to get to 40k if you enjoyed this. Thank you, Patreon, so make sure to sign up for Mutual Clothing because mental health hoodies are coming very soon. Bye!